Hello everyone, I'm thenthapple and today we're here to look at the Germantown police headquarters and all the weird and wonderful things that can be found within. So, it's located just about here, towards the northern part of the map, and directly north of Big Town, and actually related to it in a quest. So without further ado, let's go in here and have a little gander. Also be wary of the massive amount of super mutants and camp of super mutants around it, as they will peel the skin off your bones given the chance. Okay, so when we go in, we can actually see a lot of crucified skeletons on rebar bars. Now, most likely these were placed here long after the original inhabitants of this camp died, so it's extremely unlikely these individuals were part of the original guard posted here, as when we see the terminal entries, they died long ago. So these are most likely people who have wandered too close or raiders getting too uppity. So let's look at the terminal. So it's a National Catastrophe Relief Auxiliary Response Unit manned by Crancy Croydon, the presiding officer. So first is they mobilised in the evening. They have a good authority under check from China. They've got flimsy rumours based on intelligence from the DOD, and they haven't been debriefed yet, but they're prepared themselves and they're going to try to protect and evacuate people. They've got to get a safety detail of the area and then herd people to the hills. The second one is just, fuck, DC's been hit. Okay, so that was the ball that was dropped on DC. Okay, which damaged this entire surrounding area. The third one is saying, our unit's been assigned a National Guard attachment. We drove all night from Pennsylvania. We're doing our best to keep the survivors placated. The looting's going to get worse, so society's already falling apart, and they don't really have the resources to keep this shit together, and Nancy's starting to get worried. So Dolores and Rebecca deserted, but they didn't steal any of the things. Now, it should be noted that they're happy they've got a less mouth to feed, and they also think the people have left to go to the nearby vaults. But they're saying it's very unlikely they'll actually get let in, because they've clearly probably tried this already and been met with rejection by the residents of the vault, many of which couldn't actually open the vaults. So, they set up a quarantine for the worst people with radiation disease, and they're worried about running low on rations, and they're worrying it's getting worse, okay? So they know the disease is going to get worse, and they haven't got the supplies to try stave off what's going to result from the disease. By the 6th entry, they're running low on Prussian blue. Now, I'm assuming that's some type of medicine for radiation sickness. But they're saying it's widespread radiation sickness is getting a little longer, but they're able to cover any I don't know what that is. Fligrastin. So, entry 7, it feels like she's a preacher. She's probably trying to tell everybody to keep hope, keep up their spirits. Okay, people are succumbing to radiation sickness, and she's worried what's going to happen when the whiskey and the painkillers run out. So they don't even have proper medicine anymore, just basic painkillers and alcohol to save off the pain. The 8th one's kind of depressing. Okay, she's saying goodbye. She knows it's hopeless. She hopes her sisters are still alive, and she's not even going to be the last person to go, so clearly everybody else is still alive and may have actually seen her posts showing how sad and how little hope she actually had. Now, they were waiting for the outpost or the National Guard to show up, and clearly they never did because they got wiped out. But that's all we can really glean from this group outside. Let's take a look inside. So to the right we've got a evidence locker, and to the left, behind this big light, we have the jail. Here you can find Red, and also a couple of other cells with only one skeleton in one of them. Now in this one, this individual right here actually has a knife, so I think they might have killed themselves or been deranged enough to kill themselves. The reason I think this is due to a note that we find in these cells. Okay, it's called I can't actually remember exactly what it's called, something about bananas, but let's go find it. Yes, flying bananas don't talk, or can't talk, so it's clearly the deranged ramblings of a psychotic lunatic, but we think this lunatic actually comes up more than once in here when we look at the terminal entries for some of the calls later in this area. So there's blood all about the place, and the place is a shithole. But we can actually find a terminal here that will actually release all the cells, and actually a lock for this, or a key code, can be found later. Now right here there's a terminal which does show the records and lets you unlock the contraband closet, but there's not really much in here which going to help you if you actually made it to this point. Maybe that's just me who was about overpowered when I arrived at this point of the game, but there's some rudimentary things, not a lot of interest. It's interesting to note that while the place is destroyed, a lot of the barricades are still in place, and it's odd because you would have thought that would have been the first thing that the Super Mutants would have wrecked in order to get in. But they didn't, for some reason. I have no idea why. So, in here we can actually find some of the 911 calls that were placed to this station. Probably not the only ones, but the only ones that have survived so long. So the first one is this one here. Please help me, I think there's someone inside my house, there's a noise, remain calm, I'm sending a squad car over, can I have your name, sign of glass breaking, I think they're here, we've dispatched a car, and then this bastard, sorry for the scare, my wife, muffled scream, forgot to take her pills this morning, everything's okay, no need to send the squad car. Someone broke into her house, got to her, and told the policeman to fuck off, she's just crazy, so this woman's most likely dead, and I find that very fucking harrowing that they included that. I love that little detail, showing just how people were still evil fucks before the war as they are after. Now this one here, what's the nature? Wings of my shoes shrunk, the moths won't eat my kidneys, blah 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 blah, fairy napkins, my banana slippers are like water boats because when the moon something 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 sometimes burns my hamster when it punches, what the fuck. Alright sir, remain calm, and that's how you get to llama school. Yeah, so I think that this is most likely your man who read the note. The bananas don't talk, because the banana slippers. So they said they dispatched for him, so I think he read the note, he made this call, they brought him in, he read the note, and then sometime after that he killed himself. Which is very depressing when you think about it. So this is about a house being on fire, their house is on fire, please hurry, hurry, we've connected you to the fire department. They're here, my house is burning, is everybody okay, are they out? And he says yes. So I find this one quite odd, unless this person says, I think I hear them now, thank you, goodbye. Does he mean like he hears them now and they're outside, or he hears them now and they're all burning in the fire and he's going to join them? I don't know. In here we can find what was most likely the main investigatory area, probably where people were briefed about serial killers, perhaps the slasher, the pint-sized slasher, we don't know. So here now leads upstairs, which we're going to find some more evidence of the structural damage to the building. So you got sunbeams, you've got skeletons stuck. That's kind of weird. You got skeletons stuck to ceilings, and in this room to the left here, we can actually find a safe. Now, the safe isn't that important, and neither is the terminal connected to it, but it's what we can find beside the safe that I find interesting. This actually lets you avoid having to hack the lockdown computer if you want to. If your hacking's high enough, don't worry. This is what I assume to be the narcotics lab, where they did drug testing, where they clarified what substances were being used, and unfortunately there's no terminal entries or anything, which is disappointing considering some of the fucked up individuals that probably existed around this time and all the crazy shit they would do. This one right here is kind of weird. Okay, it's two different impound reports. So the first one is about a woman, okay, going on about a car that she was took joyriding. So it's appeared in the highway, it's burnt out engine, it was stolen for a joyride. We recovered the car, 2 pairs of pliers, 1 Canadian flag, assorted theatrical costumes, 4 bottles of tequila, and a pool cue. Now, either she went on a massive bender, or she's lying and there's inconsistency in her story. Now the Canadian flag's kind of weird, because it's being America, and America did annex Canada, so maybe she was up to something illegal, we don't know. This one kind of freaked me out right here. So she got in a screaming match when someone tried to impound her vehicle, saying her baby was in the car. And instead of letting her take the child out of the car, they put the child in the lost and found until she retrieves her automobile. Okay. I'm just gonna back away slowly. I don't know why I fucking do this job sometimes. Sick bastards. Anyway, this appears to be the area where a lot of the research would have been done. People looking up old case files and such. A couple of rigged shotguns in here, and also this weird safe full of books right here. So I don't know what books these might have been, maybe first edition Twilight books, we just don't know what would have been valuable back then. Who knows? But it's a bit weird that they're there, and they are ruined books. And this appears to be the area where people would have put up crime scene pictures, all those things connected by string, instead of, you know, pictures or scanning or just documents of evidence, and trying to figure out a crime scene. People would have sat in these chairs, rested their hemorrhoids, and just been like, alright, which one of these cunts did it? That's the question. But we're not here to investigate crimes, we're here to investigate the building. In here is kind of weird. There's flesh on the table and also corpses that have clearly been here a lot longer. So that to me tells me the Super Mutants just weren't fucked enough to move the corpses. There's that usual structural damage and piles of debris, but There's no actual displacement on the walls of where this debris would have came from, but that's more likely a, you know, oversight on Bethesda's part due to the limitations of the engine. Is that a fucking leg stuck to the ceiling? What the fuck? Anyway, in the basement we can find a lot of blood splatters, people getting dragged down here. Maybe the Super Mutants having their way with them, we just don't know. So in here we can actually find what appears to be the firing range or firearm testing area of the police station. Probably feeling bad for all those corpses at the bottom, until you realise, bar this chap to the left here, these were all most likely raiders. And as we know, raiders are not real people, they are just masses of flesh, bound together with a malevolent intelligence that their only purpose for being is so that we can murder and loot their corpses. Also, this place here has a fucking fat man. Okay, so see if people died of radiation in here, or a nuclear blast, I'm more willing to bet that it was because of this fucking missile launcher and some policeman having a big nuclear erection and shooting it off than, you know, bombs dropping. It's kind of weird that they have that. Here seems to be the storage area for most of their gear, though the place is fucking cleaned out. Then you've got these lockers here with really nothing of interest in them, so we're not really going to go and look into them. In the back here you've got the area where they most likely prepared their meals, flesh cut up and laid out in strips, skeletons plugged into the corners, most likely murdered and left there, and then some organs laid out, ready for a good frying up in the pan, or cooking, or whatever you want to say. The last thing is some super mutant with a gore bag in the boot of the place right here. That's about it really. Nothing else to see here. So that's it. That's the Germantown Police Headquarters. A place where we can find the episodic story of what appears to be a National Guard outpost or relief auxiliary group in front, and also the stories of 911 victims inside, and also a child that may or may not have died in the boot of a car. I don't know. I actually searched the cars to see if there was going to be a skeleton. There was not, thank Christ. So the child appears to be okay. But yes, I hope you enjoyed the episode. This one was in high demand, so if you did enjoy it, give it a like, favourite or subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future content, I greatly much appreciate that, as I always love suggestions. And if you just want to talk to me, leave a comment, I always reply. At least right now, you know, in like 2 years, Jesus knows how many views this video will have, and then like I can't reply then, it's too many fucking comments, but you know, before that, go right ahead. And I hope I will see you in the next episode. And goodbye. This is the end of the episode. You reached it. Here, have a metaphysical high five. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave some feedback in the comments section below. If you have any suggestions for future content, I would love to hear them. Or just to hear you talking to me in general, because it's pretty good crack. If you want to talk to me on a more regular and or personal and or quicker level, follow me on Twitter at thenthapple. If you want to get regular updates to my content, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, why not give it a like? And if you want to let other people see it and help me grow, I always appreciate shares, because sharing is caring. And as always, I hope I will see you in my next episode. And goodbye.